While the city of Seattle continued to grow, Al-Hadaf planned for the future. During his tenure, the track experienced its greatest period of popularity and expansion. With the addition of the gazebo, paddock club, and the North Grandstand, seating capacity doubled. The amount wagered that first season in 1933 was now being made in a day. $1-million days became common. Year after year, attendance records were broken on the day of the Long Acres Mile, reaching a peak at 25,000. In 1983, the track celebrated its 50th anniversary, becoming the oldest racetrack on the West Coast. Built during an era when horse racing dominated the sports market, it now faced more competitive times.
When I started, there was no Seahawks, there was no Sonics, there was no Mariners, there was no hockey teams. It was basically the only game in town.
Down to 6 seconds, 5. Brown Wheels has got an 18-footer. It's goal!
The city's enthusiasm for sports increased with radio coverage and televised games. But the flavor and ambience of horse racing did not translate as successfully to the new media, and soon Long Acres was eased out of the sports spotlight. Turf riders who once penned dramatic front-page accounts of stakes races were relegated to handicapping charts and racing results. Al-Hadaf stubbornly maintained the classic traditions of thoroughbred racing, while other racetracks around the country began to close due to competition from state lotteries.
When other alternative forms of gambling appeared in this state, it clearly hurt horse racing. It almost certainly led to the demise of Long Acres, because that's what made it more valuable as development property than to continue it as a racetrack. I am quite firmly convinced that if there were no state lottery in the state of Washington, we wouldn't be here talking. Long Acres would be operating and operating profitably.
Ironically, the state that once claimed it needed to protect citizens from the evils of gambling was now operating the biggest numbers game around. But society changes, and old forms inevitably give way to the new. Al-Hadaf's years at the track had surpassed even those of his father-in-law, Joe Gottstein. Much of the track's management responsibilities were now placed on the shoulders of his two sons, both of whom had grown up at the track. Long Acres had been a family business for 3 generations. It had weathered depression, war, floods, and the wear and tear of millions of fans. But the cost of maintaining an aging facility in the shadow of overwhelming competition forced doubt on racing's future.
First in the Northwest, this is King 5 Television.
No more thundering hoofbeats down this backstretch. No more howling fans in the stands suffering the agony or ecstasy of outrageous fortune. When Mr. Longacres, Maury Al-Hadaf, and his 2 sons, to whom he had handed the track operations in 1988, entered the room, they gave every appearance of having gone through an emotional wringer. But their message to race fans was, "We love you, but this is business."
Long Acres is no longer economically viable for us to operate.
We are now at a time when the reality of its existence has come to a conclusion.
The bottom line, as one of the owners agreed, is that the value of this land has simply outgrown its value as a 57-year-old horse racing facility.
Tonight, Long Acres ended its season, ended its legacy. Racing is over at that landmark Renton Park, and soon the new owners will be taking over.
2 years ago, officials announced that the park grounds had been sold to Boeing for $90 million. The countdown had begun to when office buildings would soon stand where horses once ran.
And on the last night, under the lights, the horses ran for the last time, but they ran without the voice of the track announcer. They ran as the noise of the record crowd of 26,095 cheered them on as Native Wrestler was brought home a winner by Gary Stevens in the last race ever at Long Acres Park.
I guess progress is progress, but I feel sorry for the people that are trying to promote another track and get one started, and they're going to have a heck of a time measuring up to what Longacres was. Because Joe made it a great track, but Maury and his sons made it a greater track.
Memories are going to be the only thing I've got left of it, because this racetrack has just been here. It's been my life since I was about 12 years old.
What I have learned, what I've gained, has all been right down here at this track.
I don't think there ever should have been a question that it should stay there forever. I don't know. It's hard to talk about.
I really feel bad, It's kind of, I suppose, like losing your home. It'd be the same feeling.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Longacres Park.
The Longacres Mile is like the Kentucky Derby, the Santa Anita Handicap. It's all on the level up here.
It's the ultimate here in Washington. I won it once, and it was probably one of my biggest thrills riding here.
I rode an old horse called Harpy, and he won the Longacres Mile, and he was kind of broke down, bad-legged, and it gave me quite a thrill that he stood up long enough to win the Longacres Mile because I wanted to win it, and he won it for me.
My first Longacres Mile victory, in fact, my only Longacres Mile victory, came in 1974. I come out of the number 2 post position. It was a 13-horse field. And we didn't do anything fancy. We just got him back to last and let them sort themselves out down the backside and just went around everybody and got up just the last few strides to catch Red Eye Express in the last couple jumps and got the mile.
The Longacres Mile is something that I wanted to win since I was a little kid, and that feeling hasn't gone away from me. I'd still like to win it.
This year's mile is going to be a very competitive race. We've got a quality horses coming up from California. We've got some quality Canadian horses, and it's our best horses on the ground. So it's kind of a mixture of all the horses on the West Coast that can run a mile, and it's going to be a very tough race.
Captain Condo is going to make the mile this year, win or lose. He's one of the more spectacular horses to ever race at Longacres, primarily because he's such an old-timer. He's 9 years old, which is a 40-year-old pro football player, quarterback.
The one thing different about this horse is he likes to win, and when he don't win, he gets perturbed.
Well, I have to thank the horse coming up from California with Gary Stevens aboard, Louis Cipher.
I don't agree with you. You got to go with the local horse, Captain Condo. He looks awfully tough.
Well, I think it'll be Military Hawk. He's got a lot of speed, and he's been knocking at the door quite a few races now.
Captain Condo is probably one of my favorites.
But I like long shots, and I think Ever Steady is a very good one.
Likes to pick the winner of the mile. They've gone to Louis Seifer. Ken Green at 45-1. Captain Condo, the local hope, right about what Dick Cartney predicted. He's 4-1. Third choice right now. Night Predator, a big price at 50-1, as is pair of Purdy's.
Predator is going to the front. Ken Green is second. Ever Steady's in third.
Robbers on the outside.